Have you ever thought you're selfish if you prioritize yourself or ask for what you need? If you set boundaries or say no, that you're hurting someone? If you stop giving people what they expect or you stop accommodating them, that you're a bad person? I hear you. If you've spent your life being the good one, the dependable one, the one that always puts other people first, then this message is for you. A viewer commented on a recent video of mine and she said, I can't seem to put my needs before my 4 kids. One is almost 17 and the other 3 are grown. And it's causing me to not have the life I'd prefer. How can I let go of that very, very strong need to put them first? This isn't about boundaries. This is about a belief you have about yourself. And that belief compels you to continue to put yourself last. This video is about shifting that belief so that you can live the life that you want without guilt or people pleasing. The commenter seems to have become aware that she doesn't have the life she wants. And maybe she's come to a realization like being good no longer feels like a virtue and almost like a prison because she isn't living the life that she wants. Her relationships probably aren't very solid because they're very one-sided. When you're always the one giving, always the one putting yourself on the back burner, your relationships are very one-sided because you're giving, they're taking. And that's not them taking necessarily on purpose. You're the one that's always giving. I had a client, we had worked together for quite a few months, and she had a huge epiphany. She had been married for 40 years, and she realized that she had spent decades keeping other people happy, aka people pleasing. This was an attempt to secure her worth, to secure her safety, to secure this feeling of being loved and wanted and needed. Her aha moment was she looked at me and she said, I could have been someone completely different. I could have been happy, confident, empowered, independent, healthy. And when I asked her what caused her not to be, she said it was her insecurities. It was her husband being unfaithful. It was her waiting for him to put her first. So she had people pleased and perfected and tried harder, tried to be a better wife. She gave more, she suppressed what she thought, what she felt, but she constantly felt guilty or selfish for not doing enough, not being enough of the perfect wife. Because she thought, obviously, if she was perfect enough, that he would put her first. And so she continued to put herself on the back burner in an attempt to keep him happy. So for her, this was about her husband, but this could be about your kids, your friends, a boss, your aging parents. It doesn't matter who the person is. The pattern is still the same. And it's about being compelled to put ourselves last. The pattern is that we outsource our happiness and love to other people. We make them responsible for us to feel okay about ourselves. And we think, if they're okay, then I'm okay, right? This is a game that we play with ourselves. This is a way that we deny how we really feel. My client waited 40 years, but she had the power all along. So why do we do this? It's actually pretty normal. If you were conditioned when you were young to be a good girl, to be nice, that good girls put everybody first, that they didn't hurt other people's feelings, that they didn't say what they mean, or if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. If you were conditioned to believe those things, then we grow up thinking that being good means that we have to be this selfless martyr. And that means that we have to self-sacrifice, right? That client of mine, she was taught when she was young that it goes God, others, self. And when she first said it, I didn't quite understand. But once I saw that she was saying it was like a pyramid, God was at the top, others were in the middle, and the self is at the bottom. That means the self can never put itself first or second, right? It always has to be the low man on the totem pole. And that's the kind of things that we're conditioned to believe. Oh my goodness sakes, Carpenter bee. Jeez. Okay. So those are the kind of things that we're conditioned to believe are what make us good. So again, a good girl puts other people first. She's helpful, right? And we grow up thinking that good means being helpful and always giving, always being the one to give. And then we feel guilty for saying no, or for saying, I need to take this time for me, right? And the commenter, basically, she identified with being a mom for 20 years, which means that she was always giving. She was the one to make them happy and to keep them alive. But now that they're grown, she's still stuck in that mindset, in that identity of being the giver. So it becomes about the role that we think we need to play, and it becomes this pattern that is recorded in the subconscious mind, and it just runs on autopilot. So the commenter is having a hard time breaking free of this because of that feeling guilty and selfish. I'm assuming. I don't know what she's thinking when she wants to take time for herself. But I am assuming, because I've talked to many women about this, and that is the life that I lived too, that everybody else came first. So when I started realizing that I was sacrificing myself for other people, then I started feeling guilty and selfish for wanting or needing to do things for myself. But that is something we just have to work our way through, and I'm going to talk about that. This becomes, as an adult, more about choice. But again, because it's patterned into the subconscious mind, we have to rewire that pattern. I have a current client who asked me, did I wait too long to make a change in my life? She's in her 60s. And my answer was, it doesn't really matter, because we'll never have an answer to that question. The question is, do you want to wake up in 10 years realizing that you spent another decade waiting for permission from someone to live your life? If this is you, it's time to stop letting your life slip through your fingers. So how do we shift this? It's not about setting boundaries. It's about an internal conflict. We tend as humans to deny or avoid things that are happening in our life. This is a way to feel safe. When we feel that we are in control of something, or that we have security around something, then we feel more safe about it. And we get that control, that safety, that security by ignoring things, by avoiding things, by denying the truth of what's happening. We pretend we don't feel the way we feel. We pretend that we have more time and we'll just make the decision later, because that's our comfort zone, right? It's not comfortable to make a shift like this where you haven't spoken up for yourself, for your needs, put yourself first in your life. That's a big shift to make. And so we tend to pretty easily just push it off for another day. And that means we have to continue putting ourselves on the back burner. And we can't thrive in our life when we are putting ourselves on the back burner. We can't have the best life. We can't have a fulfilling life. We can't be happy as much as we could be while we're putting ourselves on the back burner, because we're diminishing who we are and what we're here to do in our life. So this is a common behavior that I see a lot. Putting ourselves on the back burner, thinking that we're selfish. When we think about, oh my gosh, when we think about putting ourselves first. I have a pigeon that made a nest right over there in my front entryway. And so she's coming back to her nest, I think. Yes, there she goes. So this behavior of putting ourselves on the back burner, always putting other people first, goes way deeper than the behavior. It goes to a belief that we have about ourselves, and our beliefs run on autopilot. Our behaviors come from our beliefs. So it makes sense that we need to look at the beliefs that we have about ourselves in order to change the behaviors that aren't serving us. And I would have you ask yourself, what does it mean about you if you did put yourself first in your life? Our brain loves to create all sorts of stories and put context to events in our life. It likes to do that. The thing is that keeps us stuck because we believe those stories that we hear are the truth. That's just our ego keeping us in our comfort zone. So what stories are you telling yourself? Do you feel guilty? Do you think you're selfish if you were to put yourself first? That's what I want to help you examine. Do you think you're doing something wrong by putting yourself first? Again, that goes back to that conditioning. And what is the fear about what will happen if you put yourself first? Are you afraid you'll disappoint someone, that you'll hurt someone if you choose you first? Are you afraid maybe of a need not getting met, that you'll be rejected, that you won't feel loved, that you won't feel safe, that you won't feel secure, that you won't feel good enough, right? These are all questions that we need to examine in order to find out where this behavior is coming from, because it's coming from a belief that is stored deep within. So I have 3 shifts that you can look at making, and I call this the self-abandonment alarm system. By putting ourselves on the back burner and always putting other people first, we are self-abandoning, we are self-sacrificing. So shift number 1 is we think doing this, putting other people first, is a gift to other people. We think it's nice, we think it's kind, we think it's us doing the right thing. But the results of us always putting ourselves on the back burner are that we're exhausted, we're resentful, we're not living the life we want. Maybe we feel like time is passing by and life is slipping through our fingers. That's no way to be in relationship with another person. When you're feeling exhausted and resentful, you can't show up fully in your life. So this is no gift to anyone in your life, you included. When we do this, when we put ourselves on the back burner, we don't show up fully. We show up half-heartedly, we show up exhausted, or maybe we don't even show up at all. And that definitely, any of those, don't create complete connections with the other person, because they can sense that you're exhausted or resentful or showing up half-heartedly. So ask yourself, when you're giving to the other person, am I giving out of unconditional love from a cup that is full, or am I giving in order to feel loved and accepted myself? Something to remember is we cannot be fully serving other people when we're trying to be pleasing. So the second shift is to reframe guilt and selfish. Label these for what they are. They are not your conscience. They are conditioning. They are things you were taught were the right way to be when you were young. They're not your conscience telling you that you're doing something wrong, because you're not. By putting yourself first, you are not doing anything wrong. In fact, the definition, the true definition of selfish, I think we've been given a really bum rap on this. The true definition of selfish is doing something for yourself to the detriment of other people. That is not what a people pleaser does. Choosing to do something for you does not mean that you're going to hurt someone else, but that's the definition that we've been given. And so then we call ourselves, or we think of ourselves as being selfish. And we were taught, many of us, wanting things for ourselves was selfish when we were young. I saw this recently and I thought this might be helpful. Selfishness equals I matter and you don't. And that's not what a people pleaser does, right? Self-abandonment is you matter and I don't. But self-love and self-respect is we both matter. We're both important. But that is giving myself importance and telling myself that I matter, that I have the right to put myself first, that I have the right to choose me, that I have the right to put my needs ahead of other people if that's what's necessary in order to fill my cup. Because I can't be in relationship with other people when I am serving from an empty cup. I have nothing left to give. So remember, when you feel guilty or selfish, this is part of that self-abandonment alarm system. This is your body telling you that not that you're doing something wrong, but that you're abandoning yourself, that you're sacrificing yourself. When you feel guilty or selfish, ask yourself, what is it that I think I'm doing wrong? And then examine it. Am I really doing something wrong? Am I breaking an unwritten rule that I think I need to keep for whatever reason? And the third shift is to become a model. What do I mean by that? For the commenter, her kids are looking at her to be an example of what healthy is. And friends and others do the same to some degree. Do you want them, your kids or your friends, to be with a resentful, depleted version of you? Is that the example that you want to set for them? So by becoming a model, what I mean is to model love and respect for yourself. Honor your needs, your wants, your desires, and the life that you want to live. Honor that by living it and giving other people the example, your kids, the example that it's good to live your own life, and the example to others that they have the right to do that as well in their own life. The best thing you can do for everyone in your life is to be happy without them. Don't rely on them to provide you with your happiness. Don't rely on them to be okay in order for you to be okay. That puts a lot of pressure on other people. So don't make them responsible for that. The shift isn't about to stop loving people. The shift is to stop abandoning yourself. You can care about your kids and support the people you love, but a great life doesn't exist when you're in service to everyone, when you're trying to please them. And the peace and happiness that you'll feel when you let go of people pleasing is amazing. Imagine hanging out with your kids or your friends because you want to, not because you need to, because they need something from you or you need something from them. That's true connection. And ask yourself, what life does the version 2.0 of me want to live? And then live it. No permission needed. This shift from selfless woman to sovereign woman can be terrifying because it requires an identity death of that people-pleasing part of you. If you're ready for that deeper work and to stop abandoning yourself, book a session with me. The link is in the description. Or you might want to check out my new YouTube Inner Circle membership, which is coming soon. If you're still watching, hey there, I'm Heidi. Thanks for watching till the end. I go live every Wednesday on YouTube at 2:22 p.m. Eastern Time. I'd love to see you in the chat and answer any questions you have. Thanks for watching. YouTube thinks you'll like this video next. See you there. The kind of things that we're conditioned to believe.
Oh my goodness.
Sakes. Carpenter bee. Jeez. Okay.